Well, hello there, everyone. Here to show you the Jaycee Dugard, your mother's best moments, like your color sequel activity right here is talked about, say, for the rose kit bedroom it is. And basically that you see right here is I went ahead and added in some details right here of like a bedroom, like, bedroom type design. And basically that, if anybody, here has ever taken, any kind of, perspective classes or anything like that, to where, following the horizontal is like along with that, the vanishing point, that type of stuff. And basically that if I can see here that the way I went and drew this is I'm not I'm thinking that more likely it would probably be for a 2-point perspective, for like you have a it's like for the from the vanishing light and then for perspective line. But anyway, that the way I went ahead and drew right here is like you have right here is like a for young Jaycee Lee Dugard is she would be at the age of 2 right here. And knowing about them, like, based on it's like, in their book, is like, for Jaycee Dugard and the Stone Life, and talking about right here, and then you have right there is like, the pine cone, and then, the bookmark, and then the pine cone charm right here, I'm like, with the pine cone. But basically that, we see right here is I went ahead and drew right here this example right here of like a bedroom. And I know that that for if anybody were to be reading the book, and I'm like yeah, that I'm not exactly sure what the bedroom like, yeah, that like draw the bedroom. And then knowing about them, like, I'm sure that most of us, when we're at the young age, and just thinking about that, the basic parts of the story, from what I understand, from my other videos, is knowing about, my other activities, is basically about that, for knowing about whenever you're a kid, that, you may not know exactly what, could happen, knowing about them, like, yeah, you don't really expect, really to, to be, taken, to be, stolen, to be kidnapped. It is, and learn, it's like, for how to survive. But other than that, we see right here is that whenever young Jaycee Lee Dugard, whenever she was young, and if she was like inside in her bedroom, and knowing about, I'm like what I have when drew it right here, the details right here of this bedroom right here is knowing about. You have right there is I went and drew right there is like a table. I'm like if it, I'm sure anybody would probably say, I'm like, yeah, if we can remember at one point in time, maybe back in the 1990s, if most kids is like, if they had like a TV, in their bedroom. I don't know if I'm like, some kids maybe back then, if they have a computer in their bedroom, or maybe have a telephone. I know quite a few girls that's like, knowing about back in those days, that yeah, that the things that maybe that they wanted to have in their bedroom as well. And one of those could have been maybe a telephone, or maybe a radio, if they want to have a radio to listen to, or something like that. They want to have their own personal, their own space inside the bedroom, and then they would have like a radio to listen to. And I'm thinking though that I'm like, yeah, for like whenever I was drawing this, I was like, really, that any ideas for maybe what the bedroom may look like, is knowing about if it was a bedroom that maybe we dream about, and as well as knowing about that with a type of bedroom to where that yeah, that with most young men and women, like that at young ages, that the things that more likely that they would like to have in their bedroom, such as that when we get paid an allowance, and just think about, you go to the store and buy something special for yourself, or somebody, and then it's like, yeah, exactly, that go out and buy something for yourself, and then something that you would like to have in your bedroom. And one of those things, of course, like I may have mentioned before, is that the things maybe I want to have in my own bedroom would be like maybe a TV set, or maybe I don't know, that for a few friends that we may have met at school, that have them in your room, and then like you show them maybe the earrings or something like that. I know a lot of the girls is like knowing about maybe you may want to go ahead and maybe show a few of the makeup kits, or if it's going to be earrings or anything like that, or clip-ons, like anything that more likely that you would maybe want to show a few like a few people. I know, but knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that if we were to think about, I'm like, for like for young Jaycee Dugard, is that talking about is like for shyness, is knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that whenever I was young too, that I was pretty shy, and until that a lot of times the teachers and all of them, they want me to be a little bit more open and optimistic, with the other students in the classroom, such as that whenever maybe story time came around, and start talking to the other kids, and interacting with them, that type of stuff. So in a lot of ways, that knowing about I'm like, that we may have that situation to where that whenever we're going to school, that or if it's going to be maybe around the neighborhood or somewhere like that, to where that we're going to have those situations to where that a lot of kids that don't know us very well, and until that they start thinking about something that they talk about, and then that becomes interesting to them, that type of stuff. So for most of my childhood, I kept thinking about, I'm like, that really, that nobody's going to think that you're cool unless if you think of a story to talk about, such as the Three Little Pigs or something like that, or if it's going to be the story about Clifford or something like that. Hey, here's a book, here's a children's book that I read about. Hey, how do you like it? The story about Goldilocks or something like that. But anyway, but I'm sure, like young Jaycee Lee Dugard, that whenever she was young, that mentions in the book about the learning, for if it's 2 different languages, and as well as for like it's like the type of moments is knowing about the 10 things that make her happy, that type of stuff. So whenever you're at the age of 2, that what I went ahead and drew right here is like if Jaycee Dugard were to be at the age of around 2 years old, and just thinking about that if in her bedroom, that if she would have had anything that she liked to wear, such as if it was anything any kind of a dress, socks or something like that, or any type of skirts or dresses or anything like that she like wearing, and especially if it was going to be like anything that was related to like anything that was maybe going on maybe at the school or something like that, or it could have been like an event or something like that. But I know back in like the 1980, back in 1990, something like that, back in 1989, that I'm not sure what all schools did, but for depending on what states that most of us are up, but let's just say that if there's a school to where that if it's going to be like a birthday party or celebrations or something like that, to where maybe sleepovers, that more likely that they have it to where that hey, wear something nice to school, and then show the kids, that type of stuff. But anyway, but you got right there is like for young Jaycee Dugard, and then for like at the age of 2, and I'll go ahead and work right here is working right here with like 4 different colored markers right here. But anyway, but just have right there is for young Jaycee Dugard, and then right here is I went ahead and drew right here is a bed, and knowing about my the way I went ahead and positioned it right here is like for like perspective. I'm like that the corner is like you have right here is the wall right here. If it was like all decorated like wallpaper type design or something like that. But anyway, but you got right there is the bed, and I'm like that knowing about I'm not exactly sure about what the bed looks like, but I'm thinking about a bed to where nice and comfortable to sleep on, and especially for our bedrooms, is that if we were to have anybody in our bed, knowing about you got a real cool looking night light or something like that, or maybe flower pattern quilts or something like that. Flower pattern quilts. Maybe something the grandparents may have made at one time. But one thing that I also is like point out here is talk about is with money though, that a lot of times this is what I like doing. A lot of times whenever I was young, that about every week that whenever I would get paid an allowance, that one of my goals, of course, was to save up. During that time, that I tried to save up $50, just I'm like, that a kid at your age that needs $50 for. So it's like a lot of times, back in the early 1995, that if any kid were to try to save up their money, and let's just say if they want to save up up to at least maybe $20 or $40 or maybe $50, and like thinking about, I'm like, yeah, well, what are you gonna do with all that money? Well, you know, it seems like nowadays that, yeah, you know, depending on how you manage it, that sometimes it could be hard to say, but on your hand too, sometimes it could be, you know, pretty simple. I guess you just really gotta know about, you know, how the money's spent. But you know, of course, you know, back in like your early 1995, you know, like they probably, you know, anybody may think about, I'm like, yeah, that prices have gone up, you know, since then, to where it seems like that, you know, a lot of, you know, even, you know, jewelry, cosmetics, and then along with the perfume and beauty type products, you've gone up in price too. And just thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that we may think that, you know, back then that we thought that maybe $45, $50 or maybe $30 was a lot of money. I think back in the early 1970s, I think that if I can remember right, that some people that may say that, you know, back in the early 70s, that $30 was a lot of money. So it was like that you know, for like, you know, the bedspreads or anything like that, if people want to go ahead and maybe buy a rug with the carpeting on it, or maybe a cute looking, you know, a nice bed set that had like a bed frame on the back that was made out of real tough, you know, steel, and you know, like at top I say fiber iron or something like that. You know, it's like any type of material that that was good, you know, for like a bed set. You make it, you know, nice and sturdy, and then you have right here is the pillows, and then along with the it's like with the covers and then the bed sheets. But I know for most bed sets that they range nowadays between like maybe $600 or $700 at the most. But on their hand, and knowing about, like, yeah, that like if most of us are familiar with like maybe the bedspreads that are about between, you know, 400 and 500 count, you know, that type of stuff. But anyway, but you have right here is like for young Jaycee Dugard, and then just thinking about, I'm like, you're drawing this example right here of a bedroom in like perspective, and just thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that really about, you know, most kids that whenever they're young, maybe younger than the age of 5, you know, what they are allowed to have in their bedroom, and like knowing about, yeah, maybe what can the parents or whoever, you know, what they can afford to have in the bedroom. One of those could be maybe a few Barbie dolls or something like that. You know, give the kid a Barbie doll to play with, maybe a nice looking dresser, you know, something to play with, you know, that type of stuff. But on the other hand, that knowing about, I'm like, yeah, for like a telephone, that you know, any kid that I'm like, yeah, that maybe next to nights, but let's just say that, you know, the telephone were to be at about right here. Let's say that, yeah, telephone would be at about right here. So let's just say that you know, if it had to where that, you know, yeah, that, you know, that a kid that you're like talking about, I'm like, that they would have access to a telephone in their bedroom. And just thinking about, I'm like, yeah, between a fish aquarium and along right here is like, say, a pet, you know, it's like a stuffed animal, you know, net right here. And like I remember I had one of these whenever I was young too. Is like something, if you know, you want to keep up, you know, all your stuffed animals. If you may have won a stuffed animal at one time, or maybe were given a stuffed animal, it's like, you know, about, you know, kids at young age that they like the stuffed animals at you know, place where they, you know, keep their stuffed animals in. But on your hand, that you like the stuffed animals right there, like the cats and dogs, or maybe the giraffe, and along with the dolly or something like that. But you have right here is knowing about for young Jaycee Dugard, and be walking and like be dressed up nice, and knowing about, it's like for the mother's favorite moment is knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that type of moment to where that both your mother and daughter that look forward to seeing each other, knowing about that. I can remember whenever I was young that you know, if it was the parents that they you know, as soon as they walk into the door, you know, from a hard day at work or something like that, that they look forward to walking into the bedroom and seeing their kids and talking to them, you know, how's your day go, and you know, it's like yeah, how you know, how you doing, and like, and knowing about with most parents that they say, yeah, well, you hungry, or you know, yeah, well, what you do you got any homework or anything like that? And I'm sure most parents would probably say, yeah, that ask if they had, you know, if you got any homework, you know, that type of stuff. But on the other hand, and knowing about, I'm like, yeah, right there's a horse right here. It's like for horseback riding. Got there's the design to say of the carpet as well. But other than that, like talking about right here, knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that, you know, if anybody were wondering about, I'm like, yeah, exactly. About the meaning about love. It's like, you know, love and a trust relationship, you know, that type of stuff. And for what I've been practicing with, it's like, you know, for the programs that I've been working with, such as like maybe on Photoshop and other you know, art sources of art, you know, realistic to say so, you know, education type stuff. It's like so far as, you know, for college work. But the way I think about it, though, is like, you know, for any ideas that more likely that we would think about if it's going to be a bedroom, or maybe dreaming about, you know, having something in our bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, really. Is anybody dreaming about maybe having a coffee, a cafe inside their bedroom, to where that, yep, all you had to do just put the bag of ingredients into like a little machine, and then it makes the coffee for us. And if anybody were like, be like, yeah, if you're a big coffee drinker, you know, if you're a big coffee person, you know, you like drinking coffee or cappuccino in the morning, and then you maybe like to have one of those in the bedroom or some sort, or maybe Barbie house. I'm sure kids maybe about, you know, Jaycee's age would maybe like to have, you know, something like you know, maybe a quilting quilting fabric kit or something like that, or maybe Barbie doll house or something like that. But on the other hand, I know about, I'm like, yeah, for like the bedroom design, is that you have right there is the dresser right there. You got right there is the dresser design right there. And it's like a lot of times it's like, you know, yeah, that with the dresser drawers, that you'd be like a, you know, place that's like knowing about, like for like, it's like things that more likely that, you know, the kids like to wear as well. And then you know, for whatever that makes them look nice and, you know, look pleasant, that type of stuff. So in a lot of ways, I knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that you know, for kids that, you know, they would be inside their bedrooms and maybe working on their homework or something like that, and just thinking about, I'm like, exactly, about any parents are probably thinking, you know, yeah, that what do you think that, you know, kids would like to have in their bedroom? And knowing about, I'm like, yeah, maybe something that they want to have in their bedroom, such as maybe their own telephone line, or maybe their own computer or laptop, you know, that type of stuff. But, you know, I kept thinking about, yeah, if you want to buy something, if kids maybe younger than the age of 5, or maybe around the age of 5, will maybe like to buy something that, you know, yeah, well, you know, nobody wants to come to you, you know, come to the bedroom because that, you know, that they, you know, they're watching TV. And I'm like, yeah, that, you know, if anybody were to think about that, for, yeah, if you're gonna maybe have friends over, and just thinking about that, you know, that they want, you know, they like listening to music, but then, you know, you don't have the right type of, you know, you don't have, you know, the right, you know, Lego sets, you know, like, you know, the right stereo. You don't have the right stereo just to be able to, for us to enjoy the music or something like that. So if we're gonna be, you know, having maybe any friends over or something like that, and, you know, somebody that may be given a hard time, such as, it's like, well, you don't have one of those in your bedroom, so we're not going to the bedroom or something like that. But I guess knowing about, if we were to have a bedroom, and just knowing about, you know, the types of responsibilities more likely we have, such as, you know, like, you know, for like, you know, for Jaycee Dugard, and then as well as maybe, you know, it's like, you know, other people, and knowing about whenever they're young, chores around the house, such as that in the bedroom, and knowing about, are we really in charge of the dusting and vacuuming and cleaning and polishing, you know, making our beds, you know, that type of stuff. And I'll probably say that, you know, most of us would probably say yes. Yep, we are in charge of that. You know, we are in charge of, it's like, you know, a mirror. And I'm sure most of us will probably think about, you know, yeah, you want to go ahead and draw everything else except a mirror, huh? I'll go ahead and draw like a mirror. I'm sure most ladies will more likely say that, yeah, that a mirror, maybe with a little bit of lights on the side. I can maybe draw like most ladies that maybe putting their makeup on or something like that would maybe like to have a mirror to look through. A mirror to look through, and they're gonna be like, you know, yeah, that with the mirror, you like looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking about it, you know, exactly about that, you know, that type of mirror, to where it would actually show the reflection of, like, you know, yeah, you put makeup on, and then it's like, you know, yep, the kind of mirror to where it would reflect, you know, from from the reverse side. And thinking about, I'm like, yeah, that that you got to keep the mirror clean, as well as, you know, keeping the TV clean, and keeping that, the furniture polished and dusted, and that type of stuff, keeping your stuff organized, try not to have too much stuff laying on the floor. And I'm sure anybody will more likely say that, yeah, any dirty clothes or anything like that. But on your hand, I know about that. For, like I say, if this was like the drawing right here of a horse too, or if it's like a pony, but you have right there is like that. You could be quilted. It's like for your type of carpet, for carpeting or something like that. But anyway, talk about right here, seeing for young Jaycee Lee Dugard is talk about, say, book is like the Stolen Life, but talk about right here for the Mother's Best Moment, color activity.